Did you know that was finishing inside the first 6?
I don't make predictions. Everyone keep asking me, but
Yeah, but did you have a gut feeling when you got in there round 1?
it's not a gut feeling. I said, I'm going to hurt him. I said, I'm going to hurt him early. I said, I'm going to hurt him early. Once I get close to him, because I hurt him in the last fight. I said, I know this. I know I have the ability to hurt this guy. I know how to hurt him. It's just a matter of time. And again, it's just about not being stupid. I don't go out there and put my head down and start swinging. I don't fight like that.
What's good, family? Smash the like button, subscribe, and lick off the bell. So, for you man who don't know, my doggy Anthony Yarde smoked Lyndon Queen Arthur's boots for him at the weekend. Yeah, and in fact, BT Sport are very promptual, so they've already got all the footage up. So if you man haven't watched it, I suggest you go check it out. Otherwise, this video ain't gonna make much sense. Now, before I go in and expose how Anthony Yarde has roasted Mr. Anthony Johnston, aka Mr. Anthony Mandela Gandhi Johnston, I do want to clear something up quick time, because I've heard a lot of people saying, alleging, oh, YB, it was a fix. Yeah, Anthony Yarde, the referee was fixed. Listen, for a fight to be fixed, yeah, the opponent has to be protesting. People are saying, YB, it was stopped early. Frank Warren saved Anthony Yarde from getting beat. Are you having a laugh? Come on, people, get serious here. Mr. Lyndon, Queen Arthur, didn't want no more of nothing. He was praying for the referee to get in and stop it. He didn't want none. And to be honest, he gave it away before the fight even started. Yeah, because before the fight even started, he said, oh, I don't want my kids to be here because some dangerous things may happen to me. Yeah, that for me was a big red flag. I'm sorry. You don't want your kids to be there because what? Think about it. If you're going to win, and I believe you have to believe you're going to win. Otherwise, it doesn't make no sense to me. What? Oh, my kids can't be there because I'm going to get smoked. Is essentially what Mr. Lyndon Queen Arthur was saying. But anyway, the point is, people, trust me. Notice the whole team. Pat Barrett, he didn't make no sounds. He knew his man was done. His man didn't want no more. Yeah, and people don't understand that, yes, referees can make bad decisions, but this wasn't one of them. The referee said to him, do you want to carry on? And Lyndon, yeah, he didn't want to properly quit. He didn't want to jack, but he gave the body signals. He wasn't, I mean, we've seen fighters be put down before, and they want to carry on. They're nodding their head, they're coming forward. This wasn't one of them ones. He looked broken in there. Yeah, because my doggy Anthony Yarde, too much power, too big, too strong. And he was hungry. And in fact, that there is a nice segue. Yeah, one of the key reasons why Lyndon Queen Arthur didn't want no more to do with my doggy Anthony Yarde was because look at the venom on his face. Yeah? Lyndon spent too much time smiling and giggling. Do you know why Lyndon was smiling and giggling in the ring? He was trying to disarm Mr. Anthony Yarde, 100%. A bit like, I got a video on my other channel, YB USA, and type in Caleb Plant and Alvarez. Yeah, there's some leaked audio during the fight of Caleb Plant begging and trying to basically beg friend empathy from Alvarez. He was saying things like, oh, you're a really good fighter. Yeah, Caleb Plant was telling Alvarez in the ring, oh, you're a really good fighter, and yeah, all this kind of stuff. Just really quite odd. But the point is, fighters, they give it a big one, but in reality, they're only human. Yeah, and Mr. Lyndon Queen Arthur is only human, and he knew that Mr. Anthony Yarde weren't playing. Look at the man's face. He was on this thing, 100%. He weren't playing, and Lyndon Arthur didn't want nothing to do with that. He wanted out of there. That's why when he went down, when he went down and he got back up, he didn't want no more. Yeah, so let's get rid of that whole notion of it was the referee. Because guess what? If it was the referee, your man Lyndon would have been the first man on the microphone saying, I got robbed, I got set up. Bear in mind as well, people, about all the back and forth that was going on before the fight. Do you think if Lyndon was done wrong, he wouldn't have been the first one on the mic or in the post-fight interview? Lyndon went straight home. Ain't no one seen him since. No IFL TV, no post-fight interview. Now, does that sound like a man who's been robbed to you? When someone gets robbed, they're on IFL TV, they're everywhere. Yeah, Lyndon had the soul snatched out of him, had the soul whipped out of him by the Grim Reaper, Anthony, the Grim Reaper Yarde. Yeah, 100%. Because people can sense what time it is. People can sense what time it is, and Mr. Lyndon Queen Arthur, he knew his time was up. He was fixing to get got. Yeah? On that night, at the weekend, this was a case of how much of a whooping did Queen Arthur want to take, and he didn't want to take a whooping. He was out of there. And I find it quite funny that people would jump to saying that it was rigged in Yarde's favour, rather than saying the truth. And the truth is, Lyndon quit. That's the truth. Yeah? If there's gonna be fingers pointed anywhere, the fingers will be pointed at Lyndon for jacking after all the talk before the fight. Yeah, because Lyndon talked like he was going to give more than he gave. So that's where people need to be pointing their fingers. Don't be pointing at Yarde. That's not his fault that your man's talked a good game. Because people are saying, YB, it must be rigged. There was loads of bad blood, and look, they've robbed Lyndon. Listen, Lyndon robbed himself. Yeah, he took all the bad blood, and Yarde knocked all the bad blood. Listen, Yarde knocked all the bad blood right out of him within 3 rounds. Because guess what? There's a reason he was smiling and giggling in the ring, and it wasn't because he was fixing to do damage. Who do you know laughs and giggles when they're trying to do damage? Yeah, Lyndon was trying to de-arm and de-escalate the situation. He was trying to get some banter going. Oh yeah, we're not really having a hard fight, are we? I thought we were gonna play tickle and jab like we did last time. 100%. Yeah, Lyndon Queen Arthur thought he was turning up to have another tickle and jab session for 12 rounds. But my doggy Anthony Yarde, he weren't playing no games. He was playing for keeps. And that moves me on to this segue here. The point of this video. Yeah, the point of this video is Anthony Yarde shows Mr. Anthony Johnston about what revenge looks like. Because guess what? Yarde didn't lose. When he lost to Lyndon Arthur, it was embarrassing. He took that personally. And he didn't even get stopped. Yeah, to some extent, Yarde, when he lost to Lyndon Arthur, it wasn't a bad loss. It was bad because it shouldn't happen, but it wasn't embarrassing. It wasn't like when Mr. Anthony Johnston got his wig pushed back by a dude who stay in Snickers. Yeah? And I remember saying at the time, if Mr. Anthony Johnston's team have anything about them, and if Mr. Anthony Johnston has any character about him, he'll go in there and he'll get his get back. Yeah, because guess what? That's what your man's Mr. Anthony Yarde did. Went straight in there and got his get back. Rightfully so. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to handle your business. You're supposed to show the man who took whatever you feel he took from you what time it is. You're supposed to give him that same, you know what I'm saying? You're supposed to give him something to hold. Yeah, the same way he gave you a loss to hold, you're supposed to up it and give him something else to hold. Yeah? Anthony Yarde said, listen, you gave me a loss, you're going to take a proper stoppage, you're going to take a quitting. Yeah, here, hold this. 100%. Anthony Yarde told Lyndon Queen Arthur, here, hold this quick. Yeah? Hold this quick, 100%. He told him, hold this quick, and you best believe, hold this quit, and you best believe. Lyndon Queen Arthur, he took the quit, and he ran home with it. He had to hold it. Call me a liar. Oops. Did or did not Lyndon Queen Arthur have to hold a big bunch of quit? He held it. He held it all the way home as well. He didn't make a sound. He didn't make no complaints. He didn't make no noise. He was straight out of there with his quit. Because Yarde gave him a big bunch of quit and said, listen, here Lyndon, hold this quick. Yeah, hold that, here, hold that. Yeah, take that. And Lyndon took the quit and ran home with it. Didn't make no sound. No complaints, no robbery. He took it. And he was quiet with it as well. Yeah, he took it like a true queen. A trooper queen. He swallowed, essentially. Yeah, Yarde said, take this, take that. and swallow it. And he swallowed it. And he called me a liar. Well, did Lyndon Queen Arthur take the package and hold it? He swallowed it straight down. No complaints. And that's just what it is. People can be mad. People can change the script, but that's what it was. Yeah? And rightfully so. That's what you're supposed to do. And in fact, I remember saying, after Mr. Anthony Johnston lost to Ruiz, I said, listen, you owe it to yourself, you owe it to everything that you're supposed to believe in, to go in there and give him, make Ruiz hold something bigger than he gave you. Yeah? And for me, ultimately, making someone quit, that's probably the best thing you can serve someone up. That's probably the best thing you can give someone to hold. Yeah? Here, Ruiz, hold this quit. Just like Queen Arthur, hold this big bunch of quit for you. And take that home with you. But guess what? Anthony Johnston, he didn't want it like that. Him and his scary team, they didn't want to get down like Anthony Yarde. And that's the bottom line. And before people start saying, YB, but you know, there's levels to this game, and Lyndon Arthur's, I even saw one goofy in my comment section. YB, what are you talking about? Andy Ruiz was the unified champion of the world, and Lyndon Arthur's only British level. Are you joking? Andy Ruiz was only unified champion of the world because Johnston couldn't handle his easy work for him. Because guess what? After Mr. Anthony Johnston finished making Andy Ruiz look like Mike Tyson 1986, 40-year-old Chris Arreola went in there and showed the world how much easy work Andy Ruiz was. Yeah? He wasn't no undisputed unified champion. He was a joke. And Chris Arreola proved that. Chris Arreola proved everything that was known about Andy Ruiz. The reason Bob Arum got rid of him. Do you think Bob Arum got rid of Andy Ruiz because he was Mike Tyson 1986? I don't think so. Bob Arum said he can't punch for toffee. And I hate to break it to you, but guess what? Andy Ruiz went in there, yeah, with Chris Arreola in his best shape. He was his best shape. He was training with Canelo Alvarez's trainer. Everything, the stars had aligned for that fight. He was feeling himself, obviously. He was more confident than ever. Bearing in mind, he's now the champion, or had been the champion of the world. The fact that Andy Ruiz had knocked out one of the best prospects in AJ, that gave him a whole bunch of confidence. He was believing in his power, obviously. Think about it. If you just knocked out AJ, and then AJ's ran from you for 12 rounds, you're gonna be believing in your power. So Andy Ruiz went into the ring with Chris Arreola, fully believing in his power. How many times did Andy Ruiz put down Chris Arreola? Oops, none. In fact, Andy Ruiz himself had to take a seat. Chris Arreola made Andy Ruiz throw it all the way back. Drop it low. Drop it like it's hot. Yeah? Chris Arreola told Andy Ruiz, hey big bubbly Don. Yeah? Hey big bubbly female, drop it down for me. 100%. And Andy Ruiz dropped it real low. All the way to the ground with it. And that there exposed everything about Anthony Johnston. Because even myself, I'd been reeled in. I thought, well, surely not. Surely Andy Ruiz can't be completely useless if Anthony Johnston had to run around for 12 rounds and then got moshed for 7 rounds in the first fight. Oops. And anyone who's objective now knows the truth. The truth is, Anthony Johnston, I'm not sure what to say, but yeah, the truth is what the truth is. And it's shocking. And unfortunately, we've got youngers now in the game. People at Anthony Yarde. And I'm not, YB, you're riding this, you're riding that. I'm not, I'm giving respect where respect is due. Because too much in this game. I do say that the things I'm talking about here, the parallels I'm drawing, or the characteristic, or the character, and the principles I'm referencing here, it shouldn't be in this game at this level, i.e. at the unified champion level. I shouldn't really be having to to explain this out. It should be obvious. It should be obvious that when someone does you wrong, like Andy Ruiz did in the first fight, it should be obvious that you want to get back more. It should be obvious that you want to give him something bigger to hold. Yeah? The same way Anthony Yarde gave Lyndon Queen Arthur a big old bunch of quit to hold. Yeah? Yarde told him, hey, hold this quick, hold that, take that, take that. Yeah? Hold this. And he held it. Yeah? Swallow that. 100%. He said, listen, Lyndon, hey, I've got something for you. Hey, swallow this for a bit. Yeah? Swallow it right down. Yeah? Don't even spill a little bit. Don't even spill a little bit. Swallow it all down, 100%. And what did he do? What did you might tell me what he did? What did Lyndon do? He took it. He took it, and he gobbled it all up, and he was quiet about it as well, like a champion, like a true queen. Yeah, Lyndon, he the queen of swallowing. He swallowed. Simple as that. People can be mad. We got the whole of Manchester coming out. The whole of Manchester coming out. And oops, the whole of Manchester, what you swallowed. A big load from Yarde. That's what the whole of Manchester did. Who's that on? And to be fair to Lyndon, I'll give him credit because he knows he swallowed. He knows that Yarde gave him a big old load to swallow and he swallowed it. Because that's why he didn't make no sound after the fight. And to his credit, I do respect that. I do respect the Queen. I do respect the Queen swallow. Yeah? Because it takes a certain type of man to be able to swallow that kind of thing there. And not make no sound. Because some people, they still try to fight it. I'm trying to think of some examples. Oh, I'll tell you an example. Queen Khan, another queen. Amir Queen Khan, here's another one. For example, let me give you an example of someone who couldn't just swallow in silence. Yeah, when Queen Khan quit against Terence Crawford, rather than just taking his load and swallowing it like a true queen, he came out and he started oh no, I got robbed and it was a low blow and all this kind of stuff. Yeah? Queen Khan, he went out all the way bad. No shame. So I do give Lyndon some respect. Even though he gassed all of his fans up and then let them down. Because there's a reason the odds were so favourable in Lyndon's favour. Well, tell a lie. It was more or less 50-50, but that never should have been the case, as we found out. So I feel bad for all of Lyndon. I feel bad for all of Lyndon's fans who got bumped. And by the way, thank you for the donation because, yeah, obviously, you man who got bumped, them coins came right into the YB's account. So I appreciate that. But anyway, back to the point. The point is, I mean, as an example, just look. On your screen throughout this video, I've taken some clips from some pictures, some snapshots from the Yarde versus Lyndon fight, yeah? And I want you to, for any Anthony Johnson fans out there who don't understand or comprehend what I'm talking about, when I talk about this attitude, this get back attitude, the viciousness and the venom, just look at his face. There's no smiling. There's no taking pictures with the ops. There's no kissing babies with the ops. There's no sharing belts. Pure venom. He wanted Lyndon Arthur to feel how he's been feeling for the last X amount of time. That's how the game's supposed to work at this level, folks. I don't want to hear about how you want to share belts and how you want to take photos. Not interested. If you want to do that, you can do that in Dubai and be retired. And stop wasting people's time. But if you're going to be in this game, people who are objective are going to hold you to this game standard. Yeah, you're going to be held to the game standard. Simple as that. Because I'll tell you this. If you go back and watch the whole AJ versus Ruiz rematch and the whole Usyk versus AJ fight, I guarantee you can't see one snapshot, never mind multiple snapshots, you can't find one snapshot where you see the venom in AJ's face, where you see him proper committing to a shot and going for it. Yeah? And I can't even lie to you. I didn't spend an hour looking for snapshots on Anthony Yarde's face. These were literally the 2 clips that came out randomly. The first clips I looked at, these 2 popped out. And to be honest, if you watch the whole fight, the whole 3 rounds of Yarde versus Linden, you'd find in fact, most of the shots that Yarde threw, most of the power shots he threw, he was going for it. But yet, we've got 24 rounds in AJ versus Ruiz 2 and AJ versus Usyk, and never once do you see him commit with a shot. And we know this anyway, because he ran around from Ruiz for 12 rounds, and then he had a sparring session with Usyk for 12 rounds, and ended up on the ropes, smiling, doing what I've just talked about Lyndon Arthur was doing, smiling, trying to de-escalate the situation. Yeah? Anthony Johnston was on the ropes, trying to de-escalate Usyk and trying to, we're friends, aren't we? We took photos, didn't we? But Usyk, I can't believe you're attacking me. We've kissed loads of babies together, and but what about the photos we took earlier in the week? That's what your man Anthony Johnston was doing. He was trying to de-escalate the situation before he got knocked out. That's a fact. And we know this because look how he reacted at the end of the fight. At the end of the fight, he stumbled to the corner and collapsed in a big heap. He weren't going to cause no damage to no one in that state. And that just shows you how down bad he was. So I'll say it again, and the reason I'm bringing this up is to say that if anyone from Anthony Johnston's team are confused about what's required in this rematch, please don't be confused. Number 1, I'd tell you, go and watch Yarde versus Arthur. I mean, was that fight perfect? No, but that's somewhere to start. If you want the principles of what a rematch is supposed to be about, there you are. Especially when you're a certain type of fighter. When you're a certain type of fighter, i.e. you have the ability to be aggressive, and you've got good uppercuts and hooks. Because for me, really, AJ and Yarde, in my mind, they're similar kind of fighters, just different weight classes, in terms of what they should be doing. Now, Yarde has much more technical ability than AJ, but in principle, they should be fighting similar ways. Bottom line. So like I said, if anyone from Anthony Johnston's team are confused about what's required in this rematch, start there. But more specifically, guess what? We don't need to see 12 rounds of you fanning around. Yeah? We need shots with bad intentions. We need tight guard. We need coming forward. No backstep. And I'm trying to think. I'm not even sure I remember seeing Yarde take a backstep in them 3 rounds. He coming straight forward. Straight forward. Go back for what? Yeah? Punchers focus on punching. Slappers focus on punches. That's how it works. If you can't punch, you're focused about the person who's going to punch. That's why you see so many people backing up. When Billy Joe Saunders or Caleb Plantpot fought Alvarez, they weren't punching. They was focusing on what he's doing. And that's how it's supposed to be. Instead, whatever's happened in your camp, you've gone from the puncher to the guy who's scary of cruiserweights. And by the way, if you and your team can't get yourself into a situation where you can output the kind of aggression that's required, like Anthony Yarde was able to output the kind of aggression and malice, you can just see it in his face, gritting his teeth, turning his hands over, really digging, really trying to cause pain. If you don't believe you can do that, because for me the jury's out. I'm not sure if he can or not. I haven't seen it. I've seen him get schooled I've seen him get schooled by Ruiz, but that didn't light the fire in him. That didn't make him want to go in there and give Ruiz a taste of his own medicine. I've seen him get schooled by a cruiserweight, and that never flicked a switch, so there's no telling at this point in time. And anyone who tells you they know, I've seen all the AJ fans saying, oh, I know he's going to do it. Based on what? It's not based on evidence. The evidence says he's going to go in there and flap some more. So what I am going to say is, if you're training and you can't, and I think part of the problem is the amateur setup. When you're training with amateurs, yeah, the amateur style. If, for example, if you watch the Olympics, yeah, you'll never really see an Olympic boxer gritting their teeth or digging a shot. It's all about tippy-tappy. 100%. In fact, I'm pretty sure there was a time where you weren't really allowed to knock someone out in the amateurs. It's kind of, or it's not scored properly. I'm not sure, but apparently I'm pretty sure there's something to do in the Olympics where you don't get rewarded for a KO or something like that. Or you don't get rewarded for knockdowns. It's all about the points, tappy-tappy. And unfortunately, that is your style all over. Tippy-tappy rubbish. Tippy-tappy rubbish. So if you haven't got it in you to turn a shot over and commit, if you haven't got it in you to want to cause that man significant harm, you need to retire and save everyone a waste of time. Retire and say, you know what, I just haven't got the venom in me no more. Because we've all seen you in there with Dillian Whyte, enjoying your work, having fun, turning shots over, digging shots. But I hate to say it, that was 6 years ago, and we haven't seen it since. Honestly, we haven't. Maybe the Vlad fight, but even the Vlad fight was a deterioration. Because it took you 4 rounds to really want to commit. It never took, when Mike Tyson was doing things properly, it never took him 4 rounds to want to commit. Which tells me that even by that point, I remember before the Dillian Whyte fight, yeah? Before Dillian Whyte fight, AJ said, oh, this guy Dillian Whyte is trying to take food off my table. Why did AJ say that? He said that because at that point in time, his future wasn't certain. He didn't have 10 million in the bank by then. He probably had 500 grand maybe, a million maybe. All in all, his future wasn't fully certain. So that's how he saw the fight. Now by the Klitschko fight, he'd already sold out the O2 a few times. He'd had the multi-million-dollar Dillian Whyte fight. He'd had numerous title defences. So at that point, his mindset had already changed. And that's why I believe he went in there with Klitschko and it took him 4 rounds. Because already by then, he was starting to be a mathematician. Oh, well, you know, I need to, if I can go into this fight and win by fiddling around, and I'll do it that way. So like I said, maybe you just haven't got it no more. Maybe you just haven't got the spite. Maybe you just love being an amateur. Maybe you're just a gym fighter now, which is a possibility. A high possibility. You're just a gym spar fighter. You love to spar and that's it. You can't flick the switch. Which explains why after the Usyk fight you said, well, yeah, it was great to get 12 rounds in, but I can't wait to go back to the gym and get some more rounds in. What? That was great to get 12 rounds in. You can't wait to get back to the gym. Yeah, that's what you call a gym fighter. A gym fighter will perform the same no matter where they are. You can be in front of 80,000. You have that consistent, low-level performance where you just go through the motions. There's no real emotion attached. There's no snare. There's no passion in your work. There's no viciousness. And I hate to, well, the fact of the matter is, people, this is the vicious game. People like Floyd Mayweather want to try and convince you that it can be a different way. It can't be a different way. This is the vicious game. And when you don't approach this game viciously, that's when you end up in trouble. That's when you end up on the ropes, rocking and rolling. That's when it's dangerous. If you don't approach this game dangerously, it ends up dangerous for you. Because look at Usyk. Usyk came out of the blocks. He approached this game with full viciousness. For him, if that makes sense. He's not a massive hooker. He's not a combination puncher, but from his point of view, he came straight out of the blocks and popped you in the mouth. He had his fight mode on. He had his fight or flight mode on, and he chose to fight. You came out in sparring mode. You got popped in the mouth and you was shocked. You didn't know what was going on. You couldn't believe it. You thought, wait there a minute, I thought he was sparring. I thought this was spar mode. I thought I was back in the gym in Sheffield, training with some more amateurs. But anyway, Yarde is a prime example, people, for all of you dudes who have forgotten what rematches are supposed to look like. Yarde versus Arthur is how it's supposed to go for that type of athlete. For an elite, explosive athlete, that's how it's supposed to go. Now, I've always said this. If, for example, Usyk is good enough to take that kind of aggression and that kind of output from AJ, so be it. I've always said that. If Fury is able to take that and beat AJ, fair play to it. Same as Usyk. But let's see that. Let's not see you try and be smart about things. Because you ain't smart, AJ. Mr. Johnson. You ain't smart. You think you are. You're not. You're low IQ. I'm afraid to say you are. Yeah, you're a brawler meathead. That's what you're good at doing. You ain't good at IQ. You ain't Floyd Mayweather. You're just not. You can do... Listen, you've proven you've had 10 years to become Mayweather. And you ain't nowhere close. Listen, I've been doing it 4 months. And I'm closer to Mayweather than you are in 10 years. So you just ain't. Yeah? I mean, even when you're brawling, your skills are low. Your chin's in the air. Your guard's leaky. I mean, I've watched people recently, for example. I watched the small guys. Isaac Cruz. Isaac Cruz had a skin-tight guard. And he ended up walking down one of the biggest punchers at the lower weights. Which for me goes to show how effective strong guards can be. But you haven't even got that type of guard. Your guards are leaky. It's like, what have you been doing all these years? What have you been doing? Because you ain't super slick. You ain't slipping and sliding on the inside and whipping counter shots. So what are you doing? But anyway, bottom line. This video is the bottom line. Whatever you do choose to do, it must be vicious. And if you ain't got the viciousness, retire. That's it now. I don't want to hear no more about it. Yeah? Because if Anthony Yarde can do it, there's no reason. I don't want to hear no excuses. I don't want to hear no, oh, but this, that, the other. It's the bottom line.